Canada. I mean, they lost to Belgium 1-0. How on earth they actually lost that game, I'm scratching my head. And we're talking about a Belgian team that's the golden generation, one of the favorites to go at least to the quarters and semi-finals. And Canada, in their first World Cup game since 1986, Alphonso Davies misses a penalty early. Not a great penalty. Good save by Thibaut Courtois. And then just have chance after chance. Just can't finish it off, Andy. And that was the story of the game, wasn't it? And one long ball over the top from Toby Alderweireld, Michy Batshuayi, bang. And that was Belgium's only real big chance of the entire game, and they took it. And they looked stunned, Belgium. It looked like they hadn't done any research or work or tape on Canada whatsoever. We talked about it in the preview. They're going to play in behind, go with the back three, use their speed, cut inside. That's exactly what they did. And for any of us who've watched Canada closely over qualifying for this World Cup, I felt like we felt quite vindicated seeing the rest of the world go, hang on a minute, this Canadian team are great. They're fun to watch. It was like, yeah, we told you this. We've seen this for the last 12 to 18 months now. So it was so fun to watch them, but it's difficult to see them lose in that way as well.
Yeah, the first 43 minutes, I would go so far as to say, were probably the best performance of any team we've seen at this World Cup. Certainly the most expected and sustained period of just dominance, utter, complete dominance. I believe they had over 2 XG in the first half and, could have easily had 2 or 3 goals, probably should have. But at the end, these are the hard, cruel lessons of the World Cup. And, the U.S., kind of learned the same lesson a day earlier. They couldn't go and get a second goal, and so they drop a couple points. Well, for Canada, they end up dropping 3 that they maybe certainly should have had, based on the quality of the performance. And it was surprising. It was eyebrow raising when Roberto Martinez sent out a midfield 3 of Axel Witsel, 33-34, Kevin De Bruyne, never a defensive worker, for all of his great strong suits, and Yuri Tielemans, also not a defensive worker, against a team that's going to try and win the ball and counter quickly with speed and athleticism through the middle of the field. That showed a lot of naivete to me, and that was really shocking to see from Roberto Martinez. So he couldn't have got it more wrong. Canada couldn't have got it more right, and they couldn't have been more unlucky as well.
Oh, yeah, so many good chances for them. I mean, it was, Buchanan was excellent. Obviously, I thought Jonathan David was really good. Alphonso Davies was excellent as always. Richie Laria. I mean, so many great players going forward for Canada. And just penned them in. Some reaction coming in from Roberto Martinez, who's speaking to the BBC over here. And he said, today was such a difficult game. Canada were better than us in what we wanted to do. They came to the tournament with an incredible celebration, great emotion. And this Canada team has a lot of pace and directness. So, it's, he's saying what we're all thinking. And this Canadian team, Nick, how far do we think they can go? Do we think they can reach the last 16 based on that? Because obviously they got Morocco and Croatia to come up. So judging what we saw from those two teams today, 0-0, they've got a chance, right? If they go at Belgium, like I saw Croatia struggle to deal with the press that Morocco put on them for most of that game. So Canada's the next level up. So they shouldn't be too disheartened, even though they lost to Belgium.
They shouldn't be. I think Croatia is, if they don't take a lesson from this game, you're going to watch the same game. I mean, I really think you're going to see the same game given the midfield thing. I mentioned to you before the game this as a joke, and I realized during the game that there was something feeding this thought into my head. John Herdman did an incredible job. Just an incredible job. We talked about how they didn't have elite backs, and that wasn't a shot at their backs. It was just what Canada has going for itself. So what did he do? They pressed. They tried to bypass. We talk about bypassing the midfield. Bypass the back. Borjan, you clean up. Let's get the ball to our people, and let's just keep the ball in their end. I thought he did a brilliant job. I made a joke on Twitter that Everton and Watford probably put them on their list of potential hires moving forward because he is obviously an English gentleman. I think he could make his name based on this because he got nothing out of Jonathan David. He got a missed penalty out of Alphonso Davies. And they still were the better team. I have so much respect for what they did. They turned 3 backs without a very good resume into, let's get a little Canadian here, Ray Bourque, Bobby Orr, and Paul Coffey, your favorite Canadian defenseman of all time in hockey. This was something that the whole nation can be proud of. I'm so happy for them. Again, I mentioned before, I'm from Buffalo. I sometimes joke that we're Southern Ontario. That was such a great performance and worth, I don't know if it was worth the 36-year wait, but it's up there.
Oh, 100%. And yeah, they obviously play Croatia next and then finish up with Morocco in Group F. So I think they've got a good run there in terms of they can get someone against Croatia, and it will probably go down to that final game against Morocco. Some other stats, though. Expected goals is 2.61 to Canada, 0.76 to Belgium. 3 big chances missed, 22 total shots for Canada, 9 for Belgium. But the important stat is obviously Belgium won, Canada 0. But they can take a lot of heart from that Canada. And we're all really looking forward, I think, to seeing them in this tournament and in the years ahead, because there's a lot of young players in that squad as well that will develop and get much better.